Okay, we're back again. Part 1 is over. Part 2 starts. We were talking about some sensitive stuff in Part 1, which shut the show down. DDoS occurred. We were attacked heavily. We're back again. Yeah. And we're seeing that whenever we talk about the underwater submarine operations of child trafficking, which is probably just as important as Wayfair Gate, when we talk about these subjects, we get DDoSed. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, it's been happening. Yeah, sorry you missed the show earlier. I got a few people at D Live. Refresh. Yeah, I was DDoSed. And many of you don't know where our attack, they're attacking every night because we expose the very underbelly of this child trafficking industry that's been going on. The reason why I'm concerned is that it's grown from a $20 billion industry to a $160 billion industry over the past 10 years. And they say that kids are 2,000 more times more likely to be abducted, trafficked, than they are of getting COVID and dying. So our priorities in America are all screwed up. So I'm trying to focus our priorities on stopping these people. And the more we stop them, the more they put us through this ritual of masking us and all this crap. Most of this BS that's being promoted out there about fear of the COVID spread, it's coming out of falsified data. Yeah, and Pizzagate is real. It is. Wayfair Gate, we need to get to the bottom of why they priced up those shelving units, $18,000 for shelving units that would sell for no more than $500. What's going on? So sorry I was late, guys. I'm back. There we go. Okay, Dirty Harry 44 Magnum Big Game Hunt. Wow. That looks good.
Hickok 45, excuse me, I mean Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry. This guy likes his weapons and he stands to support his weapons. His name is Hickok 45 and we're going to show his video tonight after 10. Probably around 11 actually. Yeah, he's a guy who knows how to handle a 44 Magnum. The most powerful handgun in the world. It could blow your head clean off.
No. Hickok 45, excuse me, I mean Dirty Harry. No. Hickok 45 with the Dirty Harry 44 Magnum.
So he's going to show us that weapon of his choice. Yeah, we're not big on guns, but, you know, I don't mind listening to a guy. And then another story about how Kamala Harris, the wrestler, died literally the day before Kamala Harris, the VP candidate, arrives. Yeah, a 70-year-old wrestler named Kamala Harris is now dead, and so sad. 45 is a great gun too, yeah. Hey, thanks, Eric. Yeah. Well, this time I asked Alice, and she said a lot of sugar. All right, so we'll look at that tonight, and why the mystery of missing mailboxes is happening across the country. Why are they taking all the mailboxes away? Are they planning on ending the mail? Is this a takedown of our country that we're watching right now under our feet? Because if it is, I think we need to get a third party out there soon, guys. Otherwise, I don't know what to say. If you sit around and wait for the two parties to solve this problem, they're creating the problem. The Democrats want these cities to fall apart. Yeah. That's so disgusting. Yale scientists restore cellular function in 32 dead pig brains. That means that they could find cellular function in human beings someday when they're dead. That's pretty sick. You know, they could take your body and just dump your body and harvest your brain and pick it for years to come. BLM are psychics. You know, I'm going to play that later, Jefferson Girl, because might as well. I mean, you know, give me something else to play tonight, right? And then we got another one called Skos Girl Shows Greta Who's Boss. 12 minutes. Response to Greta's story from a woman with a different attitude.
Break it.
Here's how my local rag reported people airing their concerns about tyranny and mainstream media manipulation and lies. NHS workers slam scaremongering as pandemic deniers fill Liverpool streets. The reality was good people, good atmosphere, and one very astute young girl who's saying it as it is. And as U.S. Scozers do, haha, enjoy.
1, 2, test.
Hey, she's gonna speak tonight. That'll be cool. Okay, so somebody else is making a big fuss about this, and it's good she's speaking out. Kamala is a slob, really? She doesn't clean up after herself? She does seem to, is she a smoker or something wrong with her? Anything? Yeah. Kamala. And this was great earlier. We saw the woman speak up about government tyranny. We played that in part 1. If you haven't seen it, go back one video. A Huffington Post review of all his daily schedules shows that he's had nearly 0 briefings in recent weeks. Okay, this is a story we can talk about. Donald Trump, no briefings on intelligence. It's like he's completely disconnected. He's not even our president, folks. He bails on intel meetings. Intelligence briefings have slowed down, disappeared from Trump's schedule since his first months in office. Huffington Post review of all his daily schedules shows that he's nearly 0 briefings in recent weeks. He went from averaging 4.1 briefings per week to 0.7 per week since July 1st. In June, reports revealed that Trump ignored intelligence on Russia, offering bounties to the Taliban, right? Trump called the reports fake news and claimed the information never reached his desk. John Bolton, Trump's last national security advisor, said that Trump doesn't even read his intelligence briefings. The briefings summarize intelligence reports from around the world and are prepared specifically for the president. Trump's immediate predecessors, on the other hand, took daily briefings in the White House. Wow. It's a responsibility that the president cannot delegate to others. Yeah. Well, maybe he's not, being he's been a puppet ever since they rigged the election in favor of him, which we know for a fact they did. You can deny it all you want, but there's 448 pages verifying that they did rig it. Yeah, you can read all those briefs if you want. They confirm that Donald Trump did get support from Russia. And now he's catering to Russia, and he doesn't care about our briefings. Well, that's because Donald Trump is being controlled by the New World Order. And so is Joe Biden. They've got AIPAC pulling the strings on both of them, but with Donald, it's more of the Russian oligarch connection through Shabbat Leibovich, an organization that he and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and his daughter, Ivanka Kushner, are very close to. The Shabbat Leibovich group is a conduit for Russian oligarchs to control American politics, and they've been doing this for some time. Russia controls America through the Russian oligarchs. They're the equivalent of a knight or a bishop in a chess game. These Russian oligarchs like Glenn Blavatnik. Glenn Blavatnik gave money to Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Wagner to get reelected. $3 million. Len Blavatnik works directly for Oleg Deripaska, the person who is actually they say the brain behind the Russian rigging of our election. Well, this whole loop, is something that they control Donald Trump with. Joe Biden, on the other hand, is controlled through very powerful agencies of AIPAC, the American Israeli Political Affairs Committee. And this is kind of an odd thing because both levels of oligarchs control both parties, essentially. And this has been the problem ever since for our country. We've lost control of our national sovereignty. They've worked their way in, they've weaseled their way into very powerful positions. And you can see that desire for money is so great, and money and power in Biden and Kamala. Greedy, just like Donald Trump. So these Epstein flight logs really will reveal There's over 300 people working in Hollywood that were, you think people you'd think would never go to a place like Orgy Island. Yeah. So it's a lot bigger. The story, the Epstein story, is way bigger than they ever wanted it to be. And the more we bring it out, the more pissed off they are. The more we're going to be able to stop them in their tracks in 2020. You have to believe in something, and if you believe in goodness, we are here to stop evil. And there's a reason why I'm here doing this every day, because I'm a good person, and I'm not going to stand back and watch children tortured or taken from your families. A lot of parents are losing their families. They're ripped apart by abductors, and the government has not found who did this. Well, it turns out there's a pipeline of dangerous activities going on, human trafficking, child trafficking, all to Epstein Island. Anybody who went there is implicated, including and especially Alan Dershowitz, the man who claims that we should all be force vaccinated and that we have a constitutional requirement to be force vaccinated. The most perverse misuse of legal jurisprudence I've ever heard from Alan Dershowitz. A man twisted in his own mind, thinking that because we can conscript soldiers, we can force vaccinate soldiers, saying that we're all potential soldiers, that the country could be declared as martial law and that we're all soldiers and that we could be force vaccinated. He actually said that, which is a violation of the Nuremberg Code, a violation of consent laws, HIPAA laws, doctors who take the Hippocratic Oath laws. All these laws are being stepped on and squashed with the mind of Alan Dershowitz, who allegedly went to that island more than one time and claimed he didn't know Virginia Giuffre Roberts, but then later in civil court admitted, oh yeah, she was the one that rubbed my back. A 15-year-old, Alan. And then we have proof that Alan Dershowitz likes, oh yeah, it gets weirder and weirder. Alan Dershowitz has this thing for, I don't have it right up, handy dandy. Yeah. He has this thing, he believes that 14-year-old girls shouldn't be statutory rape. And we have a copy of that. I just don't have it handy. Yeah. A lot of weird stuff going on. You know that Joe Biden actually decimated American coal? His son's firm made millions from the Chinese government-owned coal company. And it literally ruined the American coal business. And not only Joe Biden, but Donald Trump gave the national coal rights over to the national Chinese, Red Chinese in West Virginia. But despite Democratic candidate Joe Biden's declaring no coal plants in America and suppressing the industry as vice president, an investment fund directed by his son Hunter has funneled hundreds of millions of dollars into Chinese Communist Party-owned coal companies. So these guys are on the money from China. They're willing to sell our country to China. That's the new world order from the other side. Trump's on the Russian side, and Biden's on the Chinese side. The new world order is essentially China, Russia, and the U.S. oligarchs, for those of you that don't know what that is. Yeah, he hates the coal mine. Now, if you're a little disturbed by 5G radiation like I am, and you're wondering how much radiation is beaming at you at any given time, it's pretty disturbing to know that it's all around us, you know. I actually got a EMF meter and tested it out and found out that it was pretty bad. We had to actually turn a few things off, like common air filters. We're putting out a lot of the ions, you know. There's a lot of electromagnetic frequency radiation from ionizers. So we actually cut back on some of our ion use. I used to run an ionizer in the room here, and I don't use it anymore because of the dangerous 5G, or excuse me, field radiation. 5G is another story. We can talk about that too. But I think I'd rather bring up what Tulsi Gabbard said about Kamala. I'm going to repeat that. This is a powerful little stint that happened at the debates. Watch this.
There are too many examples out as she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way. When you are in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
That was great. Yeah. Yeah, she really tore into her, and I'm glad, because she was completely guilty on all accounts. She literally put 1,500 men in jail for marijuana possession and then laughed about doing that and smoking pot too. Thought that was funny. Yeah, I'll play that video for you. Here it is. Spread the word. There you go. Yeah. She's good. I mean, as much as I don't agree with Tulsi Gabbard on her politics, I like the way she handles herself. I do. And why would Kamala Harris want to be part of Biden's administration when she believes he helped pass segregationist legislation? I mean, she said some bad things about Joe, calling him a racist, a supporter of segregationists, even admitting that Joe even molested that woman and other women.
Senator Harris,
and what I will say is that
if I could preface this, we will give you 30 seconds since we're going to come back to you on this again in just a moment. Go for 30 seconds.
Okay. So on the issue of race, I couldn't agree more that this is an issue that is still not being talked about truthfully and honestly. There is not a black man I know, be he a relative, a friend, or a coworker, who has not been the subject of some form of profiling or discrimination. Growing up, my sister and I had to deal with the neighbor who told us her parents couldn't play with us because we were black. And I will say also that in this campaign, we've also heard, and I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden, I do not believe you are a racist. And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground. Mm-hmm. But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me. So I will tell you that on this subject, it cannot be an intellectual debate among Democrats. We have to take it seriously. We have to act swiftly. As Attorney General of California, I was very proud to put in place a requirement that all my special agents would wear body cameras and keep those cameras on.
Senator.
Yeah, you might want to keep your camera on all the time. The reality is she never went. She was never bused. Only children of poor children were bused, and her family had lots of money. So she made all that up about being a bust child. The woman's a liar. And when you lie in front of the American people like this, you become one of the puppets. The elites like that. It's a sign that they can get you to lie again and again. She's owned. They control her through her entertainment lawyer husband. She's absolutely owned. That's why they chose her. Remember, they only choose people to run in this operation. It's all controlled. They only choose them when they have dirt on them. If they're a person like me with no dirt, totally honest, they don't want that. An honest man is the most dangerous person right now in a corrupt society. And that's what we're dealing with. That's why I've been censored for 12 years. No doubt about it. DEF CON Safe Mode Voting Village, protecting elections with data science. Well, I guess I'll play that tonight. That's must something Sarah was referred to. I'll put it in the lineup. Okay, just going through some links right now. Yeah, this is the best. I got to copy this to the hard drive here. She just accepted an offer. Yeah, literally. From a man she called a racist and a rapist. Seriously. What kind of a hypocrite, two-faced hypocrite is this woman? That's the question. And who is she really when you think about it? When her father doesn't even... He's disgusted by her. He calls her a diva. That she has this... Yeah, anyway. It's a shame that that Trump hasn't chosen a new VP, you know? Well, I guess I'll get started for my Halloween show. I'm sorry I put 1,500 people in jail for smoking marijuana. Could I have a hit on that joint, please? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What a two-faced hypocrite. That freaks me out. Creepy, I know. Creepy. It's so creepy. Okay, I'll copy that to the hard drive. Copy that, good buddy. Hey, we reached the end of the show. I cruised into the 10 o'clock hour. Yeah, yeehaw. I know. Kamala is definitely the talk of the town, so we'll be talking about her, I guess, tomorrow again for Freedom Friday. We didn't bring a lot of technology into the show tonight, other than the fact that we do the show with technology. My cooking show starts at 5. I probably will be uploading this one tonight. I'm still working on a combo video of the last 3. We had a lot of problems with technology over the past couple weeks. We're fighting against DDoS attacks in our 3 chat rooms. DLive is virtually dead every night. We're fighting it again in Twitch. Twitch is, we're up again on Twitch, but you could barely tell. We don't even know our metrics over there. Oh my gosh, you're right. She looks like Joe Camel. You nailed it there. Real Man's Butcher, how you doing, man? Let's take a look at the Joe Camel ad. Now, I met the actual makers of the Joe Camel ad, and it was the weirdest thing. The guy that came up with the idea, yeah, he was the weirdest guy I think I've ever met. We went to an art gallery showing. We walked over there together, and he just kept talking about how he created this ad campaign. You're so right. Yeah, look at that. She's got that same look. The look of Joe Camel. He said he created the ad campaign, and they said they took it down because of the subliminal seduction that was going on in the image. You apparently see more than a nose and a mouth. And he said he used that for years. It was like, a really big tool he used. Very powerful. So yeah, in a way, I see a similarity. I got it. Yeah, real man. Thank you, man. She does look like that, yeah. Well, it doesn't really matter because right now we've got to figure out what you want to do to be happy. Because if you listen to the government, they're telling you to wear a mask.
2 additional women came forward.
They're telling you to wear a mask. There's no proof wearing a mask is going to stop a virus. So it's hit and miss. It's better about social distancing. If you want to avoid crowds like family gatherings and potato chips, that's smart. That's really where it's at. Wash your hands all the time. I even wear gloves just so I don't touch anything that's COVID positive. But I'm being overboard on that. I totally admit that too. 18 of 20 members on the Facebook fact-checking board have ties to George Soros. See? He's got his evil tendrils in almost every aspect of our propaganda machine, the mainstream media. That is pretty messed up. Yeah. Okay, we'll take that one and put that in keep that. I might not get to this tonight, but it is an ongoing story about a mysterious woman named Somerset Belanoff. And this woman has a pretty bizarre story to tell. It connects back to we were talking about the blood drinking rituals of the elites. Yeah, that's a really weird, odd story. Many people believe that there are people involved in that. And Somerset Belanoff was a lady-in-waiting for Queen Elizabeth, according to this woman. And I've been doing some little side research on that. It's just very weird. It connects to all kinds of weird things like cannibalism. Yeah, so if that's really happening in the world right now, which it could be, we need to find out as much as we can about the enemy, because these people are, in fact, the sickest of all people on earth. There's no doubt about it. And I don't mean Queen Elizabeth. I mean, if there is some sort of a cabal within this secret sect of people that are running the show, money mongers who've become the most powerful beings on earth, what can stop them from doing anything? What can stop them from having a submarine base where they take children in and process their bodies? Oh my God. I mean, you can't even imagine stuff like this. So we have to start looking at this as a possibility. The reason is there are 55,000 kids missing every year, and the government hasn't been able to touch this number. It continues to be there every year. New kids, your families are losing their children. Very weird stuff. All right. We'll get into the 153 stuff first off. Thank you for coming in, everybody, and appreciate talking to you. Yeah, and I'm not closing with Mr. Right anymore. We had some complaints about that, so I understand. No, I'm just saying it did look alike, yeah. Very similar picture there. Yes. Okay, signing off. Thanks for coming in.
Quickly, well, when we have the vaccine, we have the military all lined up, and the military is going to be doing it in a very powerful manner. These are people that don't usually do vaccines. They do soldiers, and they do lots of other things that, frankly, are more difficult. But we have our general, and logistically, he's all set.